Hello, this is Jürgen with Techtalk. Another great episode, and today we have our guest, Dylan.
Thank you for having me,
Hi,
Jurgen.
thank you for
Really
coming.
appreciate you having me
Thank
over.
you.
Thank you.
And Dylan is with Porsche of Melbourne, so a premier dealership for Porsche here on the East Coast. And I know him for quite a while, a couple of years, I think maybe 10 years.
Oh yeah, it's getting to be close to 15 now.
15
Yeah,
years, unbelievable.
yeah,
I
we're getting
bought
old.
several cars from him and his dealership, so I trust him entirely. And I invited him to be on the show to talk about car technology today. So we're going to talk about Porsche in general and what they offer and all the things that are coming up. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Glad to share what I can with you. And there's a lot of really cool advances in Porsche's technology in the last few years that I think will be of great interest. And we'll try and hit some of those highlights today.
Right, yeah. As you remember, I had an old 928 Porsche for a long time. I finally sold it. That was the beginning of, I think, more technology in cars. That was one of the first computerized Porsches, I believe.
Sure. And
Very,
that car is known for the movie Risky Business, but owning that car is risky business in some ways.
it is risky business, and yes, it was quite an undertaking to keep it running.
A lot of
but
wires.
but it's a Porsche, so it'll last a long time.
Oh,
So
the
it
engineering was second to none in that
amazing,
car. Yeah,
amazing.
way ahead of its time in so many ways. And a lot of things that were first for that car carry through today. We still have them in our cars.
Yeah, I see that on the design look right now, especially with the Porsche signature on the back that came back.
Yeah.
The big writing in the back. That's very prominent now again,
Yep.
and especially like the look of the hood of the 911, more of a square angle up front, square look.
Yeah, and it carries through to our SUVs. Our new Macan EV has just hit the market, and I see a lot of styling lines from the 928 in the new Macan.
Right.
It's a sports car that's a little taller, but
Right.
still a sports car.
So as you know, a lot of people know, Porsches are known for the fun of driving. They're enjoyable cars. Some of them are manual, some are automatic, but they also, just like with any industry and technology, they're moving ahead in technology and improving their cars constantly.
Oh, it's at a warp speed now. Yeah,
Right.
there's no slowing it down.
So there's more technology involved in every car to make them safer, to make them faster, more enjoyable. But what I really like about Porsche is they have never lost their sight of what they want to do.
Yes, that's true. There's so many companies now where the focus is on
Right.
totally in AI, automation. Let's make cars something of an appliance almost, where
Yeah,
you,
you're
you
right.
buy a subscription package, and maybe the car will even someday pick you up and drop you off, and then go to work for you as like a
Exactly.
rental property. That not so much with Porsche. We're always going to be a driver-focused brand. At least I hope so. As long as I've been with them, that's the mantra for our company. Our MO is we build a car that is made for the one seat in front on the left, at least in this country, the one on the left,
Yeah.
first and foremost.
I like what you just said about appliances and cars because I've made the same exact comparison. When you look at many other car manufacturers nowadays, they become just like a box with wheels and appliances, and it's just transportation. There's no soul left in them. They just go from one place to another, and they're not very enjoyable anymore. But when you sit in the Porsche, you know exactly how it smells, how it feels. The buttons are where they're supposed to be, and even if you sit in a brand new one and you had an old one, it looks very familiar. The feeling is similar.
And even more so, I think, when the car is moving. You could sit in a lot of cars and be impressed by the way that the leather looks, or the smell of the car, the feel, and sometimes with the technology that they're implementing. But once
Yeah.
the car starts moving, that's when the story really changes. And
Right.
nobody should drive blindfolded. But if you did drive blindfolded, I think you'd know the crest was on the car, not
Right.
just by what you can feel from your fingertips and from the seat of your pants.
Right, yeah, because it's the driving that's the most fun of it.
Yeah, and we have so many different platforms now. It's amazing that the brand can replicate this, not just in our flagship, the 911, but in our sedans like the Taycan, which is an electric car, or our SUVs, which we have two of them now, electric and gas for the Macan, or our biggest SUV, the Cayenne. All of them different vehicles for different purposes, but
Right.
all uniquely driver focused.
Yes, I remember when the Porsche just started introducing the SUVs a long time ago, and
Yeah.
when everybody started jumping on the SUV bandwagon.
Yeah, back when we
This-
first got to know each other. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's been a while,
This-
but yeah.
Everybody had to. This is the industry move towards that. That everybody wants to have an SUV, They'll be able to sit up high in commanding view. They can see the road. And but what Porsche has done in the SUVs, especially in the Macan, I believe, I had a Macan before, is they kept the focus on the driver in the driving. It still feels like a sports car. So it's not just be able to go to one place or another. You can actually enjoy driving.
Well, back when the Cayenne first came on the scene, there was a lot of skepticism among Porsche fans and aficionados that thought it was sacrilege to bring an SUV to the brand.
I remember.
I think we got a lot more public trust now from our customers that we're going to do the right thing moving forward, because we've proven ourselves so many times that when Porsche vets a technology for use in their cars, it's going to be the right use and the right technology for the time.
Right.
So I think moving forward, I see more optimism for some of these bigger changes than just bringing a new model line.
I think so too. It's first it's a slow adoption, but then it moves very fast. When the first SUVs came out, like I said, everybody was skeptical about it, but now everybody has them, and also for Porsche, especially, it was a big milestone because having those SUVs in your lineup allowed you to now focus also more on the 911 line and be able to develop that more, put more funding towards that, and keep on, specializing in that much, much more.
Oh yeah, some of the best cars that we've ever made have been available to the public because the funding was there from very successful SUVs.
Yeah, similar to the Boxster when it came out.
I just read an article the other day that said that the best Porsches of all time, and it was kind of a countdown list, but the Cayenne made it on the list, and they just wanted to add it to the list as a thank you for being there, because if it wasn't for the Cayenne, we wouldn't have all the other cars on the list. Yeah. So there's some truth to that.
Exactly. Yeah, I can talk about this for hours. I've been a fan of Porsche for a long time, German cars especially, because I'm from Germany, but Porsche has been true to my heart because, I lived in that area in Germany also, so.
Sure, and not just the cars, but the people too. It's a big part of the Porsche Club, and
Porsche Club. So if you buy a Porsche, you should I highly recommend you join the Porsche Club of America. It's a great place to meet people, make friends, and and to explore also how your car works.
For us at the dealership, that's been, since I've been there, that's been a big part of our dealership's push, is to incorporate our customers into the club, because it's a family and it gives us a chance to really come together and be a community more than just a
exactly. You get to take your car out on the autocross track, or to learn more how it actually works.
Yeah.
And see what it's really capable of.
You learn so much more about your car from the community that is the Porsche Club. And it's fun. There's so many different events. A lot of people think that it's just a place to race your car, or just a place to get some coffee and show off your car on a Sunday at a Cars and Coffee. But that's just scratching the surface of what our club can do, from different rally races that we do to art events. We've done art shows together. Just a really eclectic group.
We've done a lot of things together. Yeah.
Many interests. Yeah, fun place to be.
We'll put some information on the comments below about the Porsche Club, and obviously about your dealership, Porsche Melbourne.
For our Porsche owners out there that aren't a part of the club, it'd be great to talk to you and
it's also
get you out to an event.
Yeah, to go there and start experiencing a Porsche, what it really is.
It's what brings it alive for most of our owners. Yeah,
I remember one of my most memorable experiences, and that's why I bought a 911 from you, is because we bought a Macan from you, and we had it shipped to Atlanta, the delivery center.
Yeah, and that was when that first started. The experience center was brand new at that time, and you were one of the first people. I think you got a special license plate to commemorate the first group of people coming out of the experience center there.
Exactly.
And it's bigger than ever now. It's
amazing.
They've just doubled the size of the track there.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a racetrack actually around the experience center in Atlanta.
It is, and it incorporates a lot of the best parts for whether it's the Suzuka track or the Nürburgring. It's got elements from tracks that are famous all around the world. So you get to take a 1 hour flight from Florida and see some of the best tracks in the world.
The nice restaurant there, the 356 restaurant, I believe it's called.
Yeah, and then the best thing, I think a lot of my customers seem to miss out on the fact that you don't have to bring your own car. In fact, you can't bring your own car to those tracks. They provide everything. So
exactly.
You just make a reservation and go have fun.
I rented a 911, and first time I really drove a 911 around the track. And after I was done, I was tired and sweaty, but super happy.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? that's it. I'm buying one.
That,
I was convinced.
so it's not super expensive to go, but it
No.
might end up being in the long run because you
definitely
can't
do it.
say no to the car you have to buy afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was quite amazed about, again, about technology on these cars. I just read that, and I'm looking a lot about the technology online, how companies are progressing, and just the car industry. And I see that the industry is more moving towards screens, big giant screens inside the car, and getting rid of the buttons, the control knobs for your radio. And I think Porsche is doing a great job about keeping that around, having the tactile feel of the car. Is that correct?
It is, and there is a definite change in the cockpits of all of the new cars. There's going to be screens. It's
Right.
not feasible to implement all the technologies that people want to buy today without some use of screens.
Right.
But once you're on the road and once you're driving, you've got to figure things happen fast on the road, and you want to be able to make
Right.
quick decisions, whether it's your cruise control or your audio or your phone. You can't really take your eyes off the road for very long and be a good driver. So Porsche is always looking at good ways to implement quick to find something you can feel. That's a button, and
Right.
and that's where they're going to stay around. I think those quick decisions you have to make on the road for cruise control, audio, that kind of thing. You're going to find buttons. So we've kept, and you'll find this in all of our models. All the climate controls are right there. Volume knob, that's a big one. Lots of cars have gone to slider and haptic touch for volume. It's a very, very tough thing to get rid of a knob there. So as far as the digital displays too, there's going to be implementations there of older analog style looking gauges. So there's an ode to our heritage there, but it still incorporates all the modern technology. So it's a good blend. I really like what they've done.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they're really trying to keep things the way they are. They used to be, so when you sit in a car, you don't have to read a giant manual just to be able to get down the road. And it's like you said, it's dangerous if you keep your eyes on the road. You can enjoy your driving, and you know where the radio is, you know where the controls are, and hopefully you have a manual shifter too. You still have that, right?
We do. We've seen a little bit of a pullback on the manual shifter, unfortunately, for the 911 lovers. There's going to be a return of a manual transmission. At least that's what we've been told. But it won't happen for another year or so. So it's still in the works. It's in the plan. But unlike some companies have gotten rid of it altogether, we've just taken a little break. But we still have it on our Boxsters and our Caymans. And we plan to offer it for as long as we can.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big part of our buying demand. There's a huge market for it. So I think it'll be around for a long time.
So you also have additional safety features like lane assist and stuff like that. That's features in Porsches.
Yeah, going back to those tactile buttons we were just talking about, there's certain things in a Porsche that just have to be easy to reach. So what they've done this year is they've added an off button for lane keep assist right on your cruise control stalk. So unlike most cars, you've got to dig through a menu, find it. In the meantime, you're having to fight your steering wheel at a time that it's inappropriate. With our cars, they've just given us a button to shut it off right away. So
I like that. That's great.
Yep.
I remember when the Macan first came out, and people were looking at the center stack and looking, oh my God, look at all the buttons.
Yeah.
Well, I loved it. It's like, my God, buttons everywhere. Fantastic.
Yeah, and for all the people that have had one of those cars, it's not so bad. I mean, it's really a driver's side, passenger side thing. So you've got immediately a divide by two. It's not that many buttons when you realize you've got a two-sided experience there.
Right, and so Porsche obviously also going electric in many different ways. I just saw a video about the new Taycan.
Yes,
And,
that's a really big launch for us this year.
nice car.
2025, it's a whole new car underneath the skin. So
Really? Wow.
looking at it, you might say, I don't see a big change here, but under the skin, it's a whole another level of technology, especially the battery technology, and that's something that's growing fast, and we're expecting much better charge times, but more importantly, range. That's the thing that scares people away from electric cars. And I've got customers now that are reporting somewhere in the 420, 430 range on a full charge.
Wow.
So
you mentioned earlier that for yourself, you're also getting replacing your car with a Cayenne hybrid.
A hybrid, yeah. And for my family, that's a really good technology. It gives us the best of both worlds. The new hybrids can go 40, 50 miles on a charge, which is plenty for almost every daily chore we've got, going to school and work. But on our longer trips, if we can't find ourselves in an area of a charger, we've got gas. So
Exactly. Wonderful.
yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
Plus, they're kind of a performance upgrade too. I think a lot of people miss that with hybrids with Porsche. We're not just making another Prius; we're making a Porsche.
Yeah, definitely not a Prius. You got that extra boost there from the hybrid system.
Yeah, so we've got a car that even in its base form makes well over 400 horsepower.
Really? Wow.
It's a very fast car.
And it's very seamless, right? You don't really feel anything changing in the car. It's all behind the scenes.
Yep,
right?
it just drives its its regular gas-powered counterpart. You wouldn't know they're any different.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, electric cars, I think, are fantastic, and the Taycan looks fantastic, including the new Macan. That's. I have to look at one of those. That's amazing.
I think that's going to be our biggest hit in a long time.
Yeah.
They really outdid themselves with the.
So what is the range on the new Macan?
That's a huge improvement too from its competitors, so to speak. So we're looking at a minimum of 288 miles, and that's on our turbo, which makes 630 horsepower. But for the more pedestrian models, 312 is the EPA range. But Porsche has always been very conservative in how they test with the EPA. So a lot of customers will bring up this, I've heard or I've read, and it's true. Your ranges vary very much with manufacturers, almost like performance figures, like 0 to 60 times. We're often credited with having much quicker cars than we publish. We also have cars that are much better range-wise than we publish, but it has to do with how we test with the EPA.
Right. I noticed that with Porsche. They've always been very honest about their results, and some other car manufacturers are kind of boasting what they do, and it's not really that true. But Porsche has been very sticking to that, and I've seen that many of their cars are much faster than you really think they are on paper.
Yeah, we've never been volume focused, but for the cars we do sell, we want to make sure that the people that take them home are more than pleased with the results. They want something more than they expected.
Exactly.
Which is a tough thing to do when you're buying a Porsche.
Exactly. Yeah. So what is the? I'm curious about the 911 because obviously that's my favorite car, and that's what Porsche is known for. Are there any plans to go also a hybrid on the 911?
Yes, the hybrid is just about ready to go on sale. In fact, we'll see it in the showrooms here this March, and it's our first hybrid, but it's not going to be the entire lineup of 911s. The hybrid's going to be specifically used for the GTS.
Okay.
And it's a very, very integrated system in the existing drivetrain. So this isn't going to involve a plug-in style setup where you have big batteries somewhere in the front of the car where the gas tank usually goes.
Right.
It's a very small battery that goes where the old 12-volt battery went. So if you're familiar with the 911, you've got this thing called a frunk, and that's where you would expect to find an engine in a normal car, but that's where you keep your luggage in a 911. And right behind the storage area is a battery. And in this car's case, there'll be a battery as well, but it's to power the motor that's going to propel the car. The actual starter battery will move to the back of the car. So there'll be two small batteries. The whole system only weighs about 100 pounds. So for our customers worried that the 911 might be getting a little heavy, this should alleviate their concerns there. It's not a heavy system, and it'll do a lot in terms of advancing the powertrain in terms of its soft points. So traditionally with a gas-powered car, you're going to have these fall-off periods as the turbo lets off some pressure and the car changes gears.
Fills in the gaps.
Fills in the gaps, yeah. Okay. So one of the ways they're going to do that is by electrifying the turbochargers on this car. So instead of using exhaust gases to move the turbo turbines, this will be an electrically propelled turbo.
Wow, so you have instant speed.
Instant speed.
Wow.
Yeah. So it should be fun to drive. Haven't done it yet. Just got back from our big training event for the new Macan EV, the new Taycan EV in Dallas. That was a good training session.
Wow.
But coming up real soon, we're going to be going to a training just for this new 911.
Wow. It's amazing. And it's not a plug-in.
Not a plug-in.
Super.
No.
So
it will regenerate just by pressing on the brake pedal or letting the engine run.
Right. So it's not meant for, I guess it might have some boost in economy, but it's mainly meant for acceleration and to give even more oomph for it.
Exactly. That's how we're going to probably focus. If we had to split the pie up in terms of economy and performance, it'll probably be about 80% performance, 20% economy.
Right. So yeah, you're gonna keep 911 around for forever. I'm pretty sure it's gonna.
Yeah, no plans now to electrify the whole lineup or anything. We're doing the best we can to offer something appealing in every powertrain. that's currently available. So whether it's electric or gas powered or hybrid, and for those people that want the gas powered cars to be around for a while, Porsche's done some great work with technology on synthetic fuels that will,
Yes, I read about that too.
yeah,
The
carbon neutral fuels that
clean fuels, right?
very very cool technology. Yeah, they've got plants online and working already to build that.
Wow. So there might be a different future, who knows?
It could be, yeah. We're not really sure, and even with the trainings I go to with Porsche, they'll tell us as much that they don't know. I don't think any auto manufacturer knows for sure what the future holds. It could be
Yeah, that's
fuel
true.
cells, it could be gas, it could be electric.
Nobody really knows. I know they had a big push for electric. Electric is great, nothing wrong with it. But somebody jumped on electric right away. Then realized, well, maybe we have to go backtrack a little bit to hybrid now because of the range.
Yeah, and every market's a little different.
Yeah.
We've got to think about our local market in Melbourne is a lot different than a market in Iowa or
Right.
Southern California. So,
Right.
Porsche is going to offer cars for all of those markets.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
really.
they're prepared for whatever happens. That's the nice thing about Porsche. They're very forward thinking as a company.
Right.
So I don't feel like we're ever going to have to meet and talk about how it was better back in the day with Porsche. I think they're ready for whatever.
No,
happens.
I think it's always getting better. It really is.
It really
Their
is, yeah.
lineup right now is amazing, and I definitely recommend everybody to go to Porsche in Melbourne and talk to Dylan over here and see what they have in their showroom. It's an amazing place to go just to visit, even if you're
It
not
really
in the market
is.
for a car. Just go and see what it is.
Yeah, it's like the clubhouse for Porsche lovers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it is.
where everybody meets, and
It is.
you don't have to have any reason to be there other than you just want to check out some cool cars.
Exactly.
It's a good reason to stop in and see me.
Right. So Dylan, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm on the website at Porsche of Melbourne, so the PorscheMelbourne.com is a great way to find me, and
Okay.
hopefully you're watching this podcast, and there'll be some links there as well.
Well, definitely. We'll put all information on the bottom. So, and again, we talk about technology. Today we had Porsche on, talk about the newest things, and definitely follow them. I think it's one of the manufacturers that's really leading the pack when it comes to engineering, especially Weissach engineering. A lot of things coming down the road there. And so anyway, I'm Jürgen with ACT Computers, your local IT company for 30 years. And we're here in the beautiful studio with My Living Media. And thank you for watching. And thanks for being here, Dylan. Thank you.